What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the new and improved Pete's Basement. So, what do you think? No, we did not
Let them answer.
All right.
How can it be new and improved?
It can be.
Well, it's kind of the same old basement, but it is improved.
So it's not new.
All right, how about the old and improved Pete's Basement? Do we like that?
No, but something that's improved.
We didn't get a grant or anything to do this shit, just so you know. These are all mine, and I went to IKEA and I bought some glass cabinets, and I've been putting them together and everything, and bought some new shelves and shit. And so far, we're at about 70% functionality. So, welcome back. We got a round table going. We're actually waiting for two special guests. We're waiting for J.K. Woodward and Stuart Moore, the artist and writer of Star Trek Captain's Log Pike. Remember I told you about that last week? They're not here yet, but they should be real soon. We kind of expect them any minute. Well, how's that for timing?
Perfect.
Jay, welcome back to the basement.
Got my hands full here.
No problem. Stuart, welcome to the basement. Are you happy to be here? Did J.K. drag you here? So you want to tell us about the book?
Look, this is gonna help here.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
He gets this way.
That'll do it.
All right. Okay.
It's the healing power of alcohol.
Thank you. A little too much transporter there. Sure.
No problem. Understandable.
Thank you.
Salud. Welcome.
Thank you.
How we doing, boys?
Good.
All right.
Good now.
Let's talk Trek. Wow, I really never thought I'd hear myself say that.
Welcome to the club. That's right. You guys.
I told you the movie. No, he is. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I know the movie, and honestly, when I watched the movie, I'm like, please don't let me like this. Please don't let me like this. And I really liked it. And there was that little part of me in the back that was really wanting to geek out, like, let's find out everything else about Star Trek that we possibly can. And I told that little voice to shut the fuck up. Because we spend enough money on this stuff all week long. I don't need more, because otherwise I'll spend another 2 weeks improving the basement again, and there'll be little enterprises flying around and shit.
How cool would that be? That would be so cool.
Let's just wait. Let's not even do this episode.
All right, so start us off. What is Captain's Log Pike?
Well, it's one of a series of one-shots that IDW was doing with the different captains in the Star Trek universe. And with Pike, the fun thing about Pike is he really only appeared in one story in the original, the Menagerie. And in that, he was kind of doubting himself. He wasn't sure what he was doing with his life, and he wasn't sure he wanted to be a captain anymore. And by the end of an hour, he's all happy, and he's like, "Well, I'm fine now." But I somehow didn't believe that was how it would work. Like a guy who's that unsure of what he's doing would carry that around with him for his life. Yeah. And I think when I gave you the script, there's a lot of panel directions that say, "Give me that Jeffrey Hunter 1,000-yard stare." Yeah. That's pretty much what he has all through the episode. And it was a lot of fun to write, and it miraculously fit within 22 pages, which I wasn't sure if it would.
The thing I liked about the story when I got the script is I heard they were doing a Pike thing, and I heard I was getting it, and I was ecstatic about that. I was just hoping it wasn't just a day in the life of Pike, another adventure. I was hoping, like, you got to address how he ended up like the guy in the chair.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it was in there, and that's what made it worth it.
No spoilers, guys. Pick up the book.
Yeah.
I was tempted to do 22 pages of him in the chair, just get people wheeling around. But that
would have been a lot easier to draw.
Yeah,
The legs.
Can't say it'd be easy to paint, though. You're still in that gouache thing.
Still doing, and the masochist.
That's actually a good question. Now, when did you, from the time he gave you the script, how long did it take you to finish the whole book?
I did in 30 days.
Really?
Yeah, I always do 22 pages. I try to do it in 30 days, whether I need to or not.
Do you sleep?
Not much.
I didn't think so.
Not much. How do you feel about the retelling of Pike's origin in the movie?
Well, the movie's its own. I love the movie. I thought it was great. The movie continuity is its own thing. I thought Bruce Greenwood was great. I love him. So yeah, it's a different timeline. It's a whole different thing.
I actually had a friend of mine who was supposed to have just come on and kind of guest appeared on the show because I figured you guys would do well and our fans would do well with not only having Star Trek fan on the show, like a really true blue Star Trek fan, but also a hot girl who's a Star Trek fan. And unfortunately, she couldn't make it, so Kristen, you're missing out. But as she was yeah, sorry.
I was told to be hot Trekkie girls.
I know. I lied to you just to kind of get you down here. From what she was explaining to me about like the movie in comparison to the original TV show, and I think that this kind of applies to anything that goes with sci-fi and space travel and anything with like time travel. You always have the alternate timeline escape route. Like anything that's going on, you want to tell some shit different, alternate timeline. Go for it. I mean, the X-Men have done it a myriad of times.
Yeah.
And Star Trek is actually a lot more.
Star Trek did it way better.
Yeah. It's more the genre. You can bite time travel and stuff like that with outer space and everything. How's the acoustics?
Not bad.
Good. You're right. Thanks. Sorry about that. That's Coronas, man. You'd be lucky I didn't go all Mexican and have a taco or something. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to like sci-fi and stuff, that it's easier to go with time travel and let there be like some sort of alternate timeline, butterfly effect type of thing.
Well, they totally opened that up in the Star Trek movie. That was what the movie was all about. Like they wanted their own playground to play in that didn't screw up any of this older stuff,
right?
At the same time. So,
Continuity's a bitch with Star Trek, and
continuity is kind of a bitch in the world of fantasy.
Everything you're reading, anything you're into,
yeah.
If it's been around 30 years or more, it's just impossible,
It's understandable.
They definitely did the right thing with that movie.
They absolutely did because I mean it
brought new people on board. You liked it.
Me, yeah. I knew nothing. I knew who William Shatner was, and I knew who Jean-Luc Picard was. That was all really I knew of Star Trek.
Well, they're actors.
They are.
Well, Jean-Luc Picard is
the character.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. Couldn't think of the guy's name. I was going to say Professor X, and I didn't want to get reamed for it.
The bald guy.
The bald guy. But you're absolutely right because you don't piss off the original fans that way, and you're able to draw in new ones at the same time. Which, for whatever reason, the people that made like Wolverine were unable to fathom that concept. Yeah,
I don't think they liked the character of Wolverine.
Obviously they didn't because they wanted to kill him with the one movie that they made of him. And I was like, all right, well, let's do Deadpool. Let's fuck that character. But I'm going off on a tangent.
It was a big hit.
Because a lot of new people that didn't know Wolverine loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like...
Yeah, murder. Like, they're killing him. That's the thing. With anything, if you watch a movie and you don't have any idea about the book that it references or the comic that it references, you enjoy it because it's new.
Honestly, on that subject, I knew a lot of people that really liked the Last Airbender movie. I probably would like it had I seen it because I know shit about the cartoon.
Right.
And there are people that would really love the cartoon that came back from that, basically with the, how I come back from just about all Marvel movies.
Yeah. I haven't seen it because I love the cartoon.
Yeah? And you're probably better off that way.
It's hard to do it. It's hard to make a good movie,
I mean, honestly, when it comes to movies like that, Marvel's done it right with, taking over their own shit. And since Iron Man, the Marvel movies have been better.
I think you have to do what he referenced to say that you have to kind of just take it as its own thing.
It's hard to do though, especially when you tell a shit-ass story.
They make some changes in movies. I like Singer's X-Men. The continuity was all screwed up.
Oh yeah, of course.
The ages were all different, and there's a lot of history kind of rewritten, but it got the core.
I even liked the first two Spider-Mans. I thought they were great. Spider-Man 3, I wanted to walk out of in 10 minutes.
The fact that Wolverine, I said this a million times, it's annoying, but the fact that Wolverine is supposed to be 5'3" and they had huge.
Yeah, well, that's
6'2". Yeah,
they should have did what
they had to draw in the female demographic.
They should have did what they did with Lord of the Rings. They made what's his name short, even though he's like 6 feet tall.
But Hugh Jackman's still lanky, no matter how much he bulks up. He's always going to have that height.
He's like what 6'3" or something crazy. It's like a foot taller than.
So do you have any other Star Trek stuff that you're working on right now?
No, I've got a couple other things with IDW. I got a Transformers series that's in the works. It hasn't been announced yet. But
waiting for do you know who the artist is on that or not yet?
We had one artist flame out completely, so at this point I don't know. It's not up to me.
You got my number.
Not for nothing, I think your Optimus Prime would be pretty friggin' awesome.
That would be good.
I would love the opportunity.
Are you allowed to recommend to somebody?
Sure, of course. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Actually, I think they have somebody on it. I'm being.
No, that's
a new person,
cool.
but
If not, remember who got you that
I'll mention.
beer. You were over there. I handed it right to you.
Yeah, the chair. Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about that, or is it hush hush? And
It's pretty much. Actually, I think the editor Andy Schmidt announced it off the cuff at a panel in San Diego. So I can tell you, it stars a really obscure character called Punch, who is he's a dual Autobot and Decepticon. He's Punch
what do they call
Punch
those
and
guys?
No, there's only one of them.
Okay.
There's only one of them.
Pretenders, I think. Back in the old toy line, they had somebody that.
That's something different. I think
Okay.
this is just a guy who's he's Punch when he's an Autobot and he's Counterpunch when he's a Decepticon.
I've heard of. Did they make a toy of him or something? I
Well,
think
they made
I
a
know.
toy of all of them.
That's true. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
But I actually that sounds very familiar to me. I'm not
You talking about Jab?
jab, counter punch, hook. What?
I don't even know all of them, to be honest.
No, I don't know where he's going, and I'm. we left that tangent a while ago.
Hey Maker. Come on, let's go.
All right, let's just go on. That's awesome, actually. I really like IDW's Transformers stuff.
Yeah,
and
they
for a
did some nice
long
work.
time, I'm sorry I slept on it. And I've been getting trades slowly but surely. And I'm really enjoying the new series. You also did Namor the First Mutant.
Yes.
Which I actually picked up. This came out several weeks ago. And it was actually good. It ties in with the Curse of the Mutants and the X-Men and everybody fighting vampires. And in this one, we've actually got vampires underwater, which is kind of a cool idea. Tell us about this one.
Well, it's actually a new ongoing monthly book, and I got the cover to issue 2 here somewhere by Jay Lee. Beautiful, beautiful piece of work.
Oh, man.
It's basically the first 4 issues tie in with the Curse of the Mutants, but we're really telling our own story about these underwater vampires, which are not quite what they seem at first. Like there's a mystery about who their leader is. Most of them are Atlanteans who've been turned to vampires, but some of them might actually be older beings of some kind, and that all unfolds over the course of the first storyline. It seems like a cash grab X-Men tie-in, and we're certainly hoping people who are enjoying the new X-Men book will pick up the book, but it's really a Namor story. It's like start to finish, that's what it is.
Any future plans to bring him, basically bring Atlantis back and everything?
Well,
everybody's kind of scattered in these splinter cell type of things ever since Civil War, and prior to that as well.
What's going on is Namor is trying to gather the Atlanteans, as many as he can, to what he calls New Atlantis, which is the colony underneath the X-Men's underneath Utopia. Yeah. That's not going without some bumps. That's not all what we're sort of establishing over the first few issues is not all the Atlanteans trust Namor anymore because he's scattered them in the first place, and his rule has been kind of up and down. And he's got a lot of links to the surface world.
I was about to say, a lot of them don't really like us.
His loyalties are divided. He's allied with the X-Men. And also, right now, a lot of the Atlanteans don't want to travel because there are vampires picking them off everywhere. So it's a complicated situation, and we'll get more into it after the first storyline.
They've really only started addressing Namor as a mutant in probably like the past year or so. How are the Atlanteans going to react to him not necessarily being an Atlantine as we thought he was, and that's why he got his powers, but as like you're a mutant, you're not even one of us.
Well, actually,
how do you fit to
he
lead?
always stuck out because the Atlanteans are blue.
Right, well, and he was half human, but now not only is he half human, he's half mutant as well.
Actually, people, I think they have known that for a while because his mutant power is the wings on his feet that let him fly. So he's half human, half Atlantean. He's always been had a foot in both worlds. Right. But the stuff about him being a mutant actually goes back to, I think there's some stories in the 60s that reference it, and when John Byrne did his Namor series, it was addressed a little more directly back in the early 90s. And he was the one who established that, he can fly. Atlanteans can't fly. Humans can't fly. That's his mutant power. So
kind of got the shit end of the stick there. It's like, what's your mutant power?
Well,
Wings on his feet.
The wings aren't too impressive to look at, but power's not bad. So I don't think that's quite as much of an issue. But yeah, it does punch up the fact that he's an outsider even to his own people.
Yeah, I like that reference. Yeah, exactly.